Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to Royal Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. This episode is a little bit different, at least in the beginning, because I am doing webcam, which I don't normally do, but I did my hair today and I was feeling really good about it. But also, the channel has reached 3,000 subscribers, and I thought it would be maybe a good time for me to put a face to the name and the voice. A lot of you guys who have been here since my Sims days know what I look like already, because I used to do webcam on my Sims videos like a few years back, but I've since then stopped just because it's like really hot when you have a light blaring in your face and it's just painful for your eyeballs, and it's just so much more relaxing and easier when I don't have to worry about the heat. Also, it is summer here, so it is very hot, but also I have to put in a little bit of extra effort to look nice when I'm on camera, and normally, you know, you just can't be bothered. Like, you just want to be lazy. So that's why I don't normally. But I wanted to say thank you to you guys, because I think a lot of you new ClanGen viewers who have come onto the channel are the ones who have tipped me to the 3,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to take a moment to say hello and to welcome you guys in for our ClanGen episode. So without further ado, let us go ahead, dive right in, and see what we get up to. So when we left off last time, we had some crushed dreams and the Shade Prince. So unfortunately, Firepaw, who was slated to become the next princess, ended up dying. And in her place, and it was from heat exhaustion if I remember correctly, only because she was training so hard, and in her place, the runner-up, who was her younger brother, Shadepaw, managed to become top student, and he got the title of Shade Prince, and his warrior name of Shade Fleck, if I'm not mistaken. So that happened, and I said I would play off camera for a little bit until we got a pregnancy notice, because we need kittens in the clan. And I also said that any major events that happened, I would note it down and I would share it with you guys. So that's what I've gone ahead and done. Now I have a notebook over here with like all of my notes that I write down for the major events. And guys, let me tell you, things have happened. If your heart broke in the last episode, my heart broke off camera. So it was Moon 28 when we left off. On Moon 29, lightning struck in camp, killing Pale Petal. That's right. My favorite cat of the litter, Pale Petal, only had like a moon of being a young adult and a warrior before he was tragically killed in a freak accident that happened. A lightning strike hit camp. Then on Moon 34, Crowpelt died from frostbite. So our elder, Crowpelt, actually, I think, went missing for a little bit, or he was wandering outside of camp, and he came back, I think it was in Leaf Bear, and so he came back with frostbite, and I didn't think much of it, but then he died, like overnight, and that was very surprising because I wasn't expecting it. So we have lost 2 more cats before they have been able to pass on, you know, their genetics and their bloodlines. And Crowpelt was a big hit because Crowpelt took one of the bloodlines with him, one of the founding bloodlines, which means now the max amount of royal bloodlines that a cat can carry is going to be 8. So Goldusk, you know, went away without breeding, he died, and now Crowpelt. It is now Moon 36. It has been 6 moons since we left off, so that is pretty much where we are at. So without further ado, guys, let us go straight, not to the leader's den because I've already rolled the dice, but let's go through the events over here. So at the gathering, King Fernstar flatly ignores Storm Clan's leader when they try to make small talk. Storm Clan relations have worsened. Scorchmoss, our matchmaker, our royal physician, has gotten a running nose. Flare Freckle announced that she is expecting kits. She couldn't imagine being trapped in the nursery yet and insists she can keep working. And you guys have no idea how happy I am that she finally gave us some good news, because this she-cat has made us work for a very long time to get the kittens. Like, we've been trying and trying and trying, and finally she's managed to give us the kittens that we so desperately wanted. So I'm very happy. Okay, let's go ahead and continue with relationships. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to turn off the webcam because it's causing some problems for me. Like, I'm using an app on my iPhone to do the webcam, and it works pretty decently, but I have it set to a certain like zoom, and for some reason my phone's like heating up a ton, but for some reason after a certain number of minutes it like glitches and zooms out and kind of wrecks my framing, and I really don't want to have to deal with all of that. So I am gonna say hello, spend a little bit of time with you guys in the beginning, and then we're just gonna jump right to the way we normally do things with, just my lovely voice. Just kidding, guys, but we're just gonna go through the way we normally do things. Okay, so King Fernstar and Icicle Speck come up with a catchy song together. Shining Stripe let King Fernstar down when King Fernstar was counting on him. Bear Pelt explained something in detail to Scorchmoss that others wouldn't explain to her. Scorchmoss thinks Flare Freckle is very helpful. Icicle Speck remembers something nice that Flailstorm did. Flailstorm appreciates Buttercup Finn's helpful attitude. Flailstorm is surprised when Bearpelt compliments him. Smokewater daydreams about Shadefleck being exiled. Smokewater checks in on Bearpelt every day. Buttercup Finn makes all kinds of faces whenever King Fernstar, is brought up in a conversation, and that's a high negative effect. So I don't know what has happened between these cats in the moons that we've been away, because I don't read relationships. I only save this for when I'm with you guys, so I was only getting headlines too. We're gonna have to investigate this, because when we left off, everything was fine between them. Buttercup Finn is impressed by Icicle Speck helping others today. Bearpelt won't give up a warm, sunny spot for Shining Stripe, not even for a minute. Flare Freckle protects Buttercup Finn from something on a patrol, more mother-daughter bonding, which I love. At least their relationship has stayed strong, throughout the moons. Flare Freckle, Bearpelt, and King Fernstar had a nice talk while eating. Bearpelt hears a nice story about Scorchmoss. Shadefleck can't remember a word for the life of him, but Scorchmoss helps him remember it. And we have some mother-son bonding. I feel so sad for Scorchmoss, the fact that out of her entire litter, who she saw, if you think about it, to young adulthood, she only has one left. I mean, one child died, her eldest daughter died on the day of her young adulthood without going through a ceremony, and then literally the moon after, her favorite son died, and now there's only one left. Scorchmoss. And she's lost her mate, so Shadefleck is the last family member she has left. And then Shadefleck got a bunch of cats up for morning stretches and they didn't like it. So that's all we have for the events. Let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay, let's continue with the cat list. Now, first up, we have loyalties, and some things have definitely changed. So, among the loyalists for Fernstar, we have Icicle Speck, Bearpelt, Flare Freckle, and Shadefleck. So, Icicle Speck is actually the only loyalist who has retained his loyalty. Smokewater, who is one of the loyalists, he's become an anti-loyalist. And two other cats that have joined, Flare Freckle and Shadefleck, which is kind of new. So it seems as though Fernstar, in the time that we've been away, has kind of won over the younger cats and lost a little bit of the, faith the older cats had from him. So obviously, because I wasn't looking into relationships and such, we don't really know what might have influenced that, but it could be the various deaths that have happened. Some cats might feel as though now's the time to rally behind their leader. Other cats, older cats, it actually makes sense, might blame Fernstar for the loss of their children and youngsters. But I thought we would go in and actually take a look at their relationships together rather than me going through on my own, because you guys might actually notice something that I don't. Okay, so with Fernstar. Now, from the looks of it, he still has romantic feelings for Buttercup Finn, right? That's still going on, at least from his side. But Buttercup Finn, guys, has lost all her romance with Fernstar. And again, I don't know why this is the case, but whatever it is that has happened over the last 6 moons, Buttercup Finn, whatever it was she was developing with Fernstar, it has all but fizzled out. For Fernstar, it's become a one-sided thing. it kind of almost feels like he's getting a taste of his own medicine. Like the stuff he did to Smokewater, he's finally getting to, have a taste of that. So that's kind of what we have going on. Buttercup Finn, meanwhile, is way more interested romantically in Flailstorm, our matchmaker, and Scorchmoss, our royal physician, who are interested in each other. Now, I obviously don't know what's going on between the two of them at this point in time, but when we left off, Scorchmoss was also kind of admiring Buttercup Finn a little bit, so this has the potential to develop into a love triangle. So I don't know, is this going to be our second love triangle of the clan? Perhaps. Oh, wait, no, it's a square, because Buttercup Finn apparently also is admiring Smokewater. So she has a little bit of a crush, and equally, she's got the same amount of feelings. She's got a crush on Flailstorm, Scorchmoss, and Smokewater. I mean, it could be, and she's become childish. Was she childish? I think she was. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I think I'm thinking of Scorchmoss. But Buttercup Finn, maybe she wants to do away with the seriousness of being involved with a king, and she just wants to have some casual fun with some of the other cats in the clan. I don't know. Scorchmoss, meanwhile, guys, she's fallen in love with Flailstorm while we've been away. Oh my goodness, that is huge. She's actually fallen in love with Flailstorm. Well, good on her. And she does have that little bit of a crush or admiration we'll say, for Buttercup Finn. And that is all that we have with her. Flailstorm, meanwhile, Flailstorm has also lost his feelings for Scorchmoss. Flailstorm, my boy, what happened? He became interested in Buttercup Finn. That's what happened. Oh no. No. Scorchmoss is like head over heels for Flailstorm, but Flailstorm has now become interested in Buttercup Finn. Oh my goodness. Maybe before he felt like Buttercup Finn was like out of his league because she was, in with the kings. In a lot of ways, she was like the king's she-cat. But now that she has rejected the king and she is, lost feelings for him, now she's spending time with Flailstorm. I think he's like fascinated by her because she's been kind of like untouchable for so long. Oh my goodness. And they're both childish, so maybe they gravitate towards each other because of that. I feel so betrayed, Flailstorm. Icicle Speck, meanwhile, has a crush on Shadefleck. Okay. Didn't Shining Stripe have a crush on Icicle Speck when we left? I think so, but it seems as though Icicle Speck, he's paying more attention to Shadefleck. Meanwhile, Bearpelt also has a crush on Shadefleck, and his feelings are a little bit more intense. Oh my goodness, Shadefleck, you are a hot commodity, my dude. It seems as though you have two cats who like you. Shining Stripe, yep, he has even more feelings than the other two, but for Icicle Speck. I feel a little bit bad for him because he's been having feelings for Icicle Speck for a long time, but it seems as though even though he views Icicle Speck as a friend, his friend is like paying more attention to Shadefleck. Flare Freckle, meanwhile, is completely and utterly in love with Smokewater, which is wonderful. And she's expecting kids, which is great. Let's see, Shadefleck. Shadefleck! We have a love triangle, guys. So Bearpelt and Icicle Speck both have a thing for Shadefleck, and Shadefleck is chucking a Fern Star, and he has a crush on both Bearpelt and Icicle Speck. Actually, instead of a crush, I think a better way to interpret this is that he has these two cats who are giving him attention, like these older, more accomplished, capable cats who are not that much older, like they're around his age, but they're giving him all this attention, and he likes the attention, I think. Probably especially after the death of his siblings and the loneliness that's coming from, being surrounded by your brother and sister to suddenly having no one, being on your own, I think these cats, the companionship he's getting from them is filling the void a little bit. So he's kind of split between the two of them. He evenly likes them both. He doesn't know what to think. Oh, shade fleck. So that's our love triangle. Not the one I expected, but that's the love triangle. Meanwhile, Smokewater over here, he is completely and utterly, like, max in love with Flairfreckle, even more so because she's having his kids. But also, we know that when we left off, his feelings for Fernstar started, like, he relapsed. And it seems as though he hasn't gotten rid of that. And also, it seems as though he has developed a bit of an admiration for Buttercup Fin and Scorchmoss. Hopefully it's not serious enough to lead him astray, and he's going to be focused on Flairfreckle. But yeah, these are maybe fleeting admirations for certain cats. Flirtations, we'll say. And that is all that we have for the relationship panels. We obviously don't have to do any mediation right now, so let's just take a look at what all the cats are doing for the day. Fernstar is thinking about forming an alliance. Buttercup Fin saw a big scary dog today. Oh no, last time we got one of these prompts, they came across a big dog in patrols. Hopefully that's not going to be the case for us. Scorchmoss purrs as a cool breeze hits her. Flailstorm is thinking about how awful kitty pet food must taste. Icicle Speck would give his life for Royal Clan. Look at that. Bepelt brags about his latest exploits to any cat that will listen. Shining Stripe is relaxing in camp. Flairfreckle can't find King Fernstar anywhere. She probably wants to tell him, look, you were hounding me for so many moons, and now I'm expanding the clan finally. Are you happy? But I love that she did it. She did it on her own terms. And actually, speaking of own terms, Vonel left a comment about Flairfreckle, which I actually found really cool, and it made me fall in love with Flairfreckle even more. The comment said, I love that Flairfreckle takes her time to fall in love and confess. After all, she knew since she was an apprentice that as soon as she became a warrior, she would have to be mated. At such a young age, she was burdened with the responsibility of ensuring the clan's future growth, and she had to respect her father's wish about her destiny even after his passing. But even with this heavy task, she manages to do it on her own terms. She doesn't care if the new king hates her for the time she took. After all, her mate isn't easy, with his formerly grumpy character, his loneliness, and his crush. I think we can say that between Scorchmoss's sass, Flairfreckle's way of handling her relationship, and Firepaw being the girl boss we all now know she is, Royal Clan females are not letting anyone mess with them, and I love it, which I completely agree with. It is a shame that one of those girl boss females, Firepaw, ended up dying, and then, her brother followed her. And speaking of, what was mentioned in this comment of Flairfreckle knowing kind of her destiny from a young age, her daughter or daughters, if she has any, they're going to have the same fate because the clan doesn't have any other females that can breed within the clan. So essentially, from the moment of their birth, they're going to be very special because it is going to be up to them to continue the bloodlines of the clan pretty much as soon as they become young adults. If she has daughters, they're going to be paired up, they're going to be expected to breed. And that's going to be something that they're going to very much be aware of from the moment that they're able to get a sense of the surroundings, probably around, apprenticehood. So in a lot of ways, it's going to be similar to their mother, Flairfreckle. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. Shadefleck pretends to be busy. Smokewater is feeling excited. And that's all we have for the cat list. So let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with patrols. Okay, let's go ahead and continue with our patrols. Currently we have 33 prey, we need 27.5, so we don't have to worry about food just yet, but if we don't haul anything in, we might have to start worrying from the next moon. Let's send Scorchmoss, our royal physician, out first of all. As the poppy starts to bloom and set seed in new leaf, Scorchmoss jumps at the opportunity. Proceed. Scorch Moss uses the bright flowers to find the plants quickly, determined to bring back as many poppy seeds as possible. So poppy was gathered, and I guess we're sending out our patrol of 6, all of these cats. So King Fernstar, Flare Freckle, Shade Fleck, Buttercup Fin, the King's Right Hand, Shining Stripe, and Bear Pelt. Who's not going? Who's not going? Scorch Moss has already gone, the Royal Physician. Buttercup Fin, yeah, is going. Okay, and then the Mediator. The Matchmaker. Makes sense. Okay, let's send these guys out, see what they get up to. As he trails behind the patrol, there's a mighty crash above Shining Stripe. He looks around wildly, just as the world is blotted out by a tangle of heavy, falling branches. Proceed. His clanmates come running at his yowls, and Shining Stripe is soon freed, shaken but unharmed. The patrol settles down as everyone comforts each other. So thankfully, nothing terrible or drastic happened, and it was, I think, a good stretch for Flare Freckle, because from the next episode, she is going to be in the nursery, or the Messenkatte nursery? I think she's going to be in the nursery. Regardless, she's going to be resting up, so no more wandering around for her. But we did manage to find any prey, which I think means that we are going to be short in the next moon, and we need to start focusing on hunting. So what am I saying? Jeez. Anyways, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, guys.